Well, Coast Life, we know that the giving season has been around for a while now, and if you are looking for some last-minute ways to maybe get involved in the community, well, we've got some of those for you. And our friends at Love Inc. are always taking care of folks in our community. We've chatted with them a few times about various aspects of what they do, and today's no exception. We've got Margaret Quatella joining us, and you are the Director of Case Management with Love Inc. So tell us a little bit about your role with Love Inc. and what it is that you do with case management.
So case management works tandem to our entire Love Inc. system. We have our connection center where we encourage neighbors in need to call, and we also have a gap administrator cross campus, and that is where we will meet basic needs. We have a shower, laundry, food. We don't try to replicate what other locations are doing so well. It's just kind of basic needs where that area is. And then we also have Transformational Ministries, which offers really wonderful classes and mentorship. So we kind of fit in the middle of all of that. And so how case management works is when we get calls fielded in from the Connection Center, if we see that we might have neighbors or individuals in the community who call repetitively, or they might have gone through a one-time circumstance and there's just evidence that they might need some greater support, that will get recommended over to my office. We will sit down with these individuals and we listen to their story, and we just try to understand what kind of led them to the circumstances that they're currently in. And from there, we also just ask what kind of resources they currently have, including people, because our community is such a huge support when we're going through something difficult. And we just work with them to identify the real needs that need to change, or that they need to expand on, or they need to work through in order to get to whatever their goal is. We know that housing crisis is real in Delaware. There's people looking for jobs, people who are coming out of incarceration. So everybody's story is different of what led them to an immediate need. And so we will just work with them on a unique individual one-on-one basis to identify the goals, what it's going to take to get there, what the hurdles are, and then we try to keep our process very simple. It's, you know, we listen, we assess, and then there's the tasks, which depending on what their need is will determine the frequency that we meet with them. If it's something more time sensitive like needing housing, needing a job, we'll meet with them weekly. We call that our intensives. If they have some stability but they're looking for better opportunities, we'll meet with them 2 to 3 weeks, and then we have people who hit their goals or they don't need constant check-ins. We'll call them our contacts, and we check in with them once a month. The point is we want them to know that there's consistent support on our end for them in their journey. So even if it's one step forward, it's still a step forward, and it's not overwhelming, it doesn't discourage them, they want to keep going. And the most important thing is that they understand we can't transform them for them. We can't change what they need for them. We can remove hurdles and advocate, but they have to choose to show up for themselves. They have to choose to put the work in. To date, within the last 2 years, we have helped 67 individuals go from homeless to housed. And the most recent individual was this month in December. And one of my teammates said to her, "What was the most helpful thing in what you've experienced with Love Inc.?" And I've worked with this lady for 1.5 years. And she said, "Accountability." And I know that that might sound cliche, we use that word all the time, but genuinely she appreciated having somebody come alongside her and say, "You can do this." Or in that relationship building, right, maybe this is not the best option for you, maybe you should consider this. Or maybe we need to start exploring more, or trust yourself, put yourself out there. And watching these people take these steps and then come out the other end empowered and successful, it's so wonderful to experience that.
How do people that are either in need of your services or maybe a family member of somebody in need of these kind of services that might be watching right now, how do they connect with you guys? And maybe how do they know when the time is to connect with you guys?
That's a good question. When to connect is a good question. If you want to go onto our website, that's loveincofmid-delmarva.org. Going onto the website, we do have a tab for volunteer. If somebody would like to donate, whether it's a repetitive or a one-time, whether that be resources or their time, because time is equally as valuable as money, let's be honest. The easiest and fastest way to connect would be calling our Connection Center. So that number is 302-629-7050. They will have to leave a message, but we have a lot of volunteers and staff there who receive these messages, and then depending on what the need is, they will connect them to the appropriate resources. In case management, we have people that start off and they do great, and then they give up on themselves, and so they're not ready. All we can do on our end is be consistent in who we are, and what we communicate is what it will take for them to get the help that they need, and that way when they are ready, they know what to expect.
The last couple times we've talked to, it's not a handout. It really is that hand up to give people the tools and resources that they need to, go from a situation maybe from unhoused to housed, or to get back on their feet, however that looks for them. And I love that you guys take that individualized approach with every case that you have. So Margaret Quatella with Love Inc., thank you so much for being here today. Thank you guys for what you're doing in our community. I think especially this time of year, it feels a little extra, not extra important, but it feels a little extra warm, I
Maybe
think.
front of mind.
Yeah, a little extra front of mind. Well, thank you again for what you do and for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. We do have some more Coast Life coming your way. You might want to grab your dancing shoes when we get back.